So for our review words, I'm going to write down 3 of them that represents our 3 ambiguous vowel patterns from last week. Last week, our spelling patterns, our ambiguous spelling patterns were AW, AU, and AL. So these basically tell us that we do not have a long or a short sound in any of these words, because AW, AU, and AL, they don't make the A sound or the A sound. They don't make A say itself. So these are not considered long or short. It's the same with our new pattern for this week. So our spelling patterns were AW, AU, and AL. So this week's focus is going to be R-influenced A in accented syllables. So we're going to know that whatever syllable contains the R-influenced A is going to be our accented syllable. So our different patterns are going to be the AR in the first syllable, so like in the word artist and margin. Our next pattern will be the R-influenced ARE or AIR, and that's pronounced air. So a lot of times when you see ARE, like by itself, you might pronounce it R. Well, you would pronounce it R. But in these words that we're going to have this week, you're going to pronounce it air. So like, for example, in the word barely, and then an airplane. So those are our second pattern that we're going to have. And that'll be in the first syllable. Now we have our second syllable, ARE and AIR. So it's the same pattern as the second one here that I just said, but this one's in the second syllable now. So at some point this week, we're going to be doing a sort on these 3 things. So these are the 3 things we'll be sorting our words by. And then this is an example of the ARE and AIR, the air in the second syllables, are prepare and affair. I want to tell you about 4 words in our model section. So I have the words garden, declare, despair, and airplane. So I'm looking for the patterns in my first or second syllable of AR, AIR, or ARE. AIR and ARE both sound like air. So first thing I'm going to look at is garden. So if I divide those into syllables, I have garden. So I'm going to split that up, and I see the AR symbol, or the AR blend in here. And that's the R sound. So that's in the first syllable as an AR. Now I have the word declare. Declare. All right, I'm going to divide that up, and I see ARE. That's the air sound. You don't say declare. Then we have the word despair. Despair. Despair means like you're losing hope or something. Declare means to like shout out or to say. So in despair, you have AIR, and you also pronounce that air. Just looks like the word air. So that's second syllable accented. This one's second, this one's first. If you remember, our AR spelling pattern is always going to be in the first in this week's words. And my final one, airplane, we have AIR, and that's in the first syllable there. Now I'm going to do a word sort with our new spelling word for this week. So first, I need to determine how many syllables it has so I can decide where my spelling pattern is and what syllable. So my first word is market. If I have the word market, I need to look first at, do I have 2 vowels in this word? And in market, I do. I have A and an E. This week, we have our AR pattern. So the R is influencing our A sound. So it's R in market. And when we see that we have 2 vowels in there, that usually means we have 2 syllables. We have 2 vowel sounds, so that means 2 syllables. So in market, we don't have ARE, we don't have AIR, we just have AR. And when you have market, you have market. So we'd put that market over in the first syllable, because that's the accented one, because it has the spelling pattern, and it has AR. So market would come over here. My next spelling word is aware. So you have aware. So we have 2 syllables here. So now we need to determine if it's in the first, the second, If our spelling pattern is in the first or the second, it looks like it's in the second one. It's A-R-E. So that one would come over here. Despair. Despair means to lose hope. We have 2 syllables here. When you divide it up, despair. We have A-I-R at the end for our spelling pattern for this week. That's in our second syllable. So that would be over here. Repair means to fix. And here you have 2 vowels, one at the beginning and a couple at the end. You have repair. And then look for our spelling pattern, A-R or A-R-E or A-I-R. It's in our second syllable, we have A-I-R. So that would be over here. And now we have careful. You have careful. So you split up care and full. And it looks like the A-R-E is in the first syllable then. So that would come over here. Careful means to be cautious. Now we have haircut. I hope you know what a haircut is. Haircut, you have two vowel sounds in here. You have A-I-R, or R influenced A sound, A-I-R and a U. So that tells us we have 2 syllables. Haircut. Looks like our A-I-R is in our first syllable. Now remember, this is first syllable A-I-R or A-R-E. This is our first syllable A-R. So that's why that's different. Now we have harvest. We have 2 vowel sounds here. We have R and E and est. So you have harvest. And our spelling pattern is in the first syllable. It looks like our A-R. So harvest would come over here. Our last one will be carpet. So we have 2 vowel sounds. We have R and E in pet. So you have carpet. So that's 2 syllables. And our AR will be in our first syllable. So that will come over here. Here are our spelling words for the week. All right, now we're going to divide them up into first and second syllables. So this one is the word bargain. So first thing I want you to do is break down those syllables. So you go bargain. So you have bar and gin. Look for our R-influenced A spelling pattern for this week. It'll be A-R. So it's actually in the first syllable. And our poster straight up told us this week that whenever we see an R-influenced A spelling pattern, that will be our accented syllable. So that is the syllable that has the most emphasis when you say a word. Now we have beware. Beware. Go ahead and look. It's at the end in our second syllable. It'll go on this side. Now we have the word artist. Artist. So that is at the beginning. We have our A-R spelling pattern. So that'll go in the first syllable. Now we have airplane, airplane. We have our R-influenced A sound in the first syllable on this one, A-I-R. So that'll be over here. This one is fairy. So that will be in our first syllable, A-I-R. And this one is carbon, carbon. Look for our R-influenced A sound. And this one, it's A-R. That's in our first syllable. So these are our accented syllables here. Aware, aware. The R-influenced A sound is at the end in our second syllable. So that'll come over here. I have one more. Barely, barely. The A-R-E, the R-influenced A sound is in the first syllable on this one. Barely, first one. And there's our syllable sort for this week. I also want you to notice that we do not see an A-R spelling pattern in the second syllable. So we saw carbon and artist and bargain. Those are just the A-R words, and those are all in our first syllable. We are only going to see those have show up in our first syllable. They're not going to be in our second syllable for this unit.